Hello, I'm Sibongile Ngako, and this is my series, FEMpower You. Today, we're going to talk about retirement planning tips for women, which is a trending topic that I've seen recently. But first, a bit about me. I'm a Harvard educated corporate fintech and compliance executive, leveraging my background and expertise to help empower women both personally and professionally. So, now let's talk about retirement planning tips for women. So, for a lot of women, and this was the case for me as well when I was younger, retirement planning seems far off, like something we don't need to deal with today. But listen to this statistic: 80%, women are 80% more likely to fall into poverty when they retire than men. And in addition, only 14% of women feel knowledgeable about retirement planning. So, given those statistics and others that we've seen out there, I think it's something that's essential for women, and now is the time to start planning. And if you didn't start planning earlier, it's fine, start today. So, what exactly is a retirement plan? I think of it as not just one thing, it's an ecosystem, okay? It's this ecosystem and this interconnected web of generating income, minimizing your debt, saving, and investing. And it's a living, breathing thing. It's not something that happens as part of a single event. It's a process that unfolds over time, which hopefully, in thinking about it that way, will help it, seem less daunting to you who are listening today. And the point of it, as the point of many of the things that I talk about, is that so you can have the life that you want when it comes time to retire. So you're paying for that planning, that saving, that investing, so that you can be taking care of your future self. So, what are some tips that I think of when it comes to retirement planning for women? Firstly, take the lead. Don't wait for your spouse or partner or for your friends to start talking about retirement planning. Take the lead as early as possible and at a time that's right for you. And that means start saving, use employer sponsored plans if they're available from your employer, and also talk to a financial advisor, even if you don't use their services right away. The first time I talked to a financial advisor, I was 25 years old. And it wasn't until many, many, many years, many moons later, that I actually engaged the services of a financial advisor. So I would highly recommend talking to a financial advisor as soon as possible, even if you don't end up investing money with them, or using the services of one right away, because it just puts you in the mindset of looking at your assets and liabilities, assessing where you are from a financial standpoint, such that you know where you need to get to. The second tip, which I referenced a bit just now, is start early and be resourceful. Women's capacity for being resourceful is infinite. We often are resourceful on behalf of our loved ones, as friends, as caregivers, as leaders in organizations, as mothers, as daughters, but we don't use that same resourcefulness for ourselves. I saw this firsthand growing up. My mother was among the oldest of her siblings, and she emigrated to the United States and sponsored several of her siblings to come here. But meanwhile, she herself was in, financial dependency and financial difficulty. And, at one point, her plan for retirement was to win the state lottery and to put down $20 every day on playing the lottery. So be resourceful on your own behalf, because you are your winning lottery ticket. Okay. And that means, having multiple streams of income and being really intentional about spending and saving. The next tip, which I've talked about in some of my other episodes, is pay yourself first. What does that mean? That means using direct deposit to funnel a certain amount of money to various accounts, not just to your checking account. So it can be, I generally say about 10%, ideally at least 10%, but you can funnel money to a money market account, to a savings account, to your 401k if your employer offers one, to other accounts, not just to your checking account, so that you can amass money really quickly without even actively trying. And then the next tip is strike a sustainable balance. Okay. Again, retirement planning is a process, it's not a single event. And I think of it as a slow and steady stream, not a gushing waterfall. Okay. So it's something that we do little by little so that 10, 20, 30 years down the line, we have the money we need to live the life we want. Don't feel that you need to deprive yourself today in order to save for tomorrow. It really is a balance. And there will be times when there are other things that are more important than retirement planning, such as buying a home, such as traveling, such as following your bliss or other ways in which you want to spend your money. But this is why it's important to have that slow, steady drip of saving and investing always going on in the background, such that when you do get a windfall, you can determine, okay, I want to build on my retirement, or I want to, leverage it again to buy a home or follow your bliss in other ways, or some combination of those things. And then finally, and this is, I cannot say this enough or impress this upon you ladies enough, do your research and ask questions always. Always, always, always. Okay. We often fall into the trap of being afraid to ask questions. And ironically enough, it usually happens, and it's happened for me at those moments where, I'm taking control and I feel empowered and I'm confident, and yet I want to appear maybe more knowledgeable than I am. And so I don't necessarily ask questions. Always ask questions. If you're working with a financial planner or advisor, talk with the advisor at length, understand the fee structure, any fees that you'd be charged, understand the controls in place that are there to prevent misuse or mismanagement of your funds. Understand the advisor's incentive structure. How are they getting paid relative to your investment? Always ask questions. And one caveat, referrals and recommendations are great, but you can't always trust them. Okay. That's someone else's point of view that may be right for them. So it's really on you to do the research you need to do and ask the questions that are specific to you and that resonate with you, because your financial well-being cannot be delegated. Okay. And that's it. So to wrap up, take the lead, start early and be resourceful, pay yourself first, strike a sustainable balance, do your research. And just one final caveat, this is all premised on the fact that you are unencumbered by and in control of your debt. If you are in a situation where your debt is unmanageable, where you're paying high interest debt, where you're indebted to predatory lenders, where you're not able to manage your debt on a month-to-month basis, and are floundering in debt, then your first step is going to be to pay off your debt. Okay, and then you can follow these other steps. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, be empowered and be you.